Good evening, everyone. We'll open the meeting up. Can we please rise for a pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll open our meeting up to public comment. And just a reminder, front end public comment for agenda items only. We'll have a back end public comment for general questions. So anyone has any comments for agenda items, just raise your hand, state your name, and you can ask the question. Okay, we don't have any public comment this evening.
This before you do. Yeah, was it 8?
Yeah, we can. We're going to do special presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, tonight we have our monthly leaders of the pack. We don't. Is that on here?
Yep.
Yeah, we do. We have our leaders of the pack.
So E.
So we'll start with the elementary school.
All right, so unfortunately our leader of the pack couldn't make it tonight. Her name is Zia Sidorio, and I'm just going to read a few things just because she is just an amazing student. She is a 5th grade student, Zia, and her teacher is Miss Beauvais. She says, Zia is a very responsible, kind, and conscientious student. She is a wonderful young lady. Coach S said she is a terrific student in PE. She is enthusiastic from the moment she enters the gym and extremely cooperative with her classmates. All around great kid. Ms. Adamek from VAM. She is a dedicated student, hardworking, always very attentive, goes above and beyond to do her best and help others. All around, she is a great VAM student. And then Ms. McCaffrey shared that Zia is a model student in music and chorus. She is always listening, always following direction, and is a kind person. I love having Zia as a student. So like I said, unfortunately, she was unable to make it tonight, but she is our ATS student.
So I'm excited to present our HMS leader of the pack. This is Juliana Gasparian. So Mrs. Torres says that Juliana consistently tries her best in class and works diligently to complete all her work. Juliana is a great student and person. Mrs. Mears said that Juliana is a hardworking student in 7th grade. She has improved her skills by attending the art club, sword club, and sail. Juliana is well liked by her teachers and she puts effort into every assignment. Mr. Early says that Juliana is an exceptional student and an even better human being. She is always working hard and does everything that is asked of her in physical education. We could not think of a better candidate for this award. Congrats, Juliana. Oh, there's more. So many good things about Juliana today. I'm going to skip down a little bit to talk about what Mr. Peterson said. Juliana is a sweet, kind, respectful young lady. She always works hard in math class and is a model example of how students should conduct themselves while in class. So, and I would like to say, just because I have gotten to know Juliana, that she has always been a very sweet and pleasure to see in the cafeteria when I see her. And I'm super glad that she's has our award.
Mind? Thank you. And then we'll just do, okay, perfect.
Wait, one more.
This will be
Oh, this way, here we go. Right, here we go.
Hold it a little bit lower. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
I hope you're ready.
Good evening, everybody. I have the pleasure to introduce Hope Williams, a junior here at the high school. I have 8 blurbs to share. I will try to condense it as much as possible, but definitely want to share some amazing things about Hope. Miss Saylor from the Social Studies Department. Hope brings light into every room she enters, as you can see by her smile.
She does. She does.
She is willing to try any activity from the most mundane and boring to the most creative and out of her comfort zone. She leads by example, and other students join in. She's an inspiration and one of the most highly respected students by the staff here at the school. Miss Otis in the Foreign Language Department. Hope is a wonderful person and student. She's always willing to help, whether it be supporting her class with fundraising or helping a student in need academically or otherwise. She's got such a positive energy and is a joy in the classroom. Mr. Tatum from the English department. Hope is a super motivated young woman. She brings a wonderful enthusiasm and determination to every endeavor she undertakes. From classroom assignments to extracurricular activities, she has been a pleasure to work with in every single capacity this year. Miss Candia, who is Hope's guidance counselor. Hope Williams is an incredible young woman who works hard at everything she does. She is an exceptional student who excels in all her courses at the high school. She is a true leader among her peers, and she was chosen last year to represent Highland High School at the HOBY State Leadership Seminar. Next, I have Coach Becker for varsity girls lacrosse. I've had the pleasure of knowing Hope before she started kindergarten, when she was following in her sister's footsteps playing lacrosse. Hope has grown into a true leader both on and off the field. This past weekend, she gave up her Saturday morning to help at our local lacrosse clinic here at the high school, which was a tremendous success. Dr. Scrow from the science department. Hope is a dedicated student that has a personality that lights up the room. She is a personable, kind, driven, and one of the most active students in extracurricular clubs in the school. Ms. Grayback, also from the science department and is the advisor of student council. Hope is a great leader and takes initiative in student council. She's a great role model for her peers. And then lastly, Ms. Whiston in the math department. Hope is always positive and constantly shows motivation through all her coursework. She is a dependable student, teammate, and friend. And then for me personally, I get the pleasure to see Hope every single morning getting dropped off. And it's a perfect person to see in the morning to start the day off right. So congratulations, Hope Williams.
Again, on behalf of the Board of Education, congratulations to our leader of the pack. And as you can see, if you've got schoolwork to do, you can leave.
Congratulations.
Have a good night. Thanks for coming. We can call out her dad also. He was one of the key members that was helping rehabilitate our middle school after the fire. So thank you.
Okay. Moving on, we have our consent items, and we have an addendum that we're going to add onto our consent items. It will fall under appointment, probationary, and that'll add 3 to our probationary appointment. Okay, as we normally do, if you have questions regarding the consent items, you can ask them now. If you want to pull out an item and vote on it separately, we can also do that. So our consent items right now will be FA1 to C.6.4. Actually, it should be 5.
I agree. The probationary goes here.
for the change.
I'm sorry.
orders.
Yep.
6.
6IV. So can I have a motion to accept our consent items?
Motion.
Motion by Mike, seconded by Heather. Is there any discussion?
Everything looks in order.
Just a quick comment. I mean, you see a bunch of change orders and allowance disbursements for our phase 1 and phase 2 portion of our capital project. I want to thank Desmond and Joel for putting a lot of legwork into so many allowance disbursements and change orders, including our Director of Facilities, Pete Miller, to get them where they are tonight. And there was a lot of discussion, a lot of corrections made. So we all believe that we're quite accurate with our change orders and allowance disbursements. Any other discussion, comments? Okay, for our consent items, we have a motion made by Mike, seconded by Heather. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? So carried.
Okay, so we would like to congratulate and welcome to the Highland staff our newest assistant principal at the elementary school, Melissa Chester. So thank you for being here this evening, and please let us know as soon as you're able to begin.
I thought that was tomorrow.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, congratulations, Melissa. Okay. Under curriculum and instruction, our principal's monthly report. Let's start with the high school. You're in the back.
Switching things up tonight.
I got me on that one.
Good evening, all. Just one very quick brief addition to my board report. Tara Sanders, who works with the Ulster County Department of Mental Health, was here during Superintendent's Conference Day, doing a session and workshop for staff wellness and taking care of their stress management and learning things and coping skills like that. And she's going to be coming back. She did a great job. She's going to be back on November 19th for the high school, working on student wellness. And things that she focuses on are wellness, self-care, mindfulness, and stress reduction. So she will be meeting with all students throughout the high school grades 9 to 12 in 2 different sessions on the auditorium, and working with students on giving them techniques, practices, strategies on things that they can do to help take care of themselves. So it was really nice to have her in a twofold capacity, whereas on Superintendent's Conference Day, she was able to work with just staff on their needs, and coming back on the 19th to work with students on the needs on their level. So it's nice to have that. That's my only add-on to this evening. Any questions at all? Thank you.
Middle school.
Well, sure.
You're always in the middle.
Yeah, that's fine. That's where I like to be. I was on middle child too. So the first is not an update, it's actually a sales pitch. We're selling pies for the HMS PTA. They will be delivered to the middle school the day before Thanksgiving. So if anybody would like to take one of these and order a pie, we would love to support them. So not really an update. The only actual update I have is in regards to some of the stuff we've been talking about here. Mrs. Hathaway and I crafted and sent home kind of like a memo to parents in the middle school, just reminding them of our procedures when it comes to mobile devices and cell phones. And then we talked to the students this morning about it, just to reiterate kind of what our expectations were. So we thought that was important to pass along. And I just wanted to let you all know that. It's something that we've been working on. I know high school and elementary school have too. So I wanted to add that to my report. Does anybody have any questions? Some of you may have gotten it on Friday. So.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I apologize, Ian. Normally you sit up front, just kind of in the back, I didn't see you back there. Apologize.
All right, keep the guessing now.
Next month, you have to put him in the middle.
What was that? All right, so I guess my only addition, and it was kind of really late in the day addition to our board report, was that on the live, Story Voice, it's a website. Someone reads the book and the kids can kind of question and ask questions. Well, what kind of cool happened today was Bellin Woodward, the author of More Than a Peach and Ruby Bridges, yes, the actual Ruby Bridges, obviously read their books aloud live, and our Miss Finch's class was chosen to ask questions. So there's like thousands of people on this thing, and they were able to like ask their questions. So we'll post that up on the our Facebook page so that you can watch the video. It's like it's a little bit, it's in the middle somewhere. It's like I don't know, 13 minutes in or so, but yeah, so it's kind of really cool that they got to live on air questions and meet real Ruby Bridges, which is pretty wild.
That's great.
I was more starstruck than they were. They're like, yeah. Oh, like what? Ruby Bridges? So, any questions?
Thank you, Ian. Okay, Director's Monthly Report. We have our directors here this evening. If you have any questions, you can shout them out to them.
No questions, just a comment just on transportation. I love seeing the one blurb, just how one of the routes that we've combined with Marlboro, just to, I think everybody's struggling, right, in the same areas, and the more we can do that, obviously, it makes sense. So great job thinking outside the box to get things done.
Thank you.
See the collaboration.
Yeah.
Just a quick question for Mr. Miller. Peter, we've had several soccer games and several football games on the new turf field. Any issues with it as of now?
Field itself, no. Trying to get all the parts and pieces together, that's a challenge.
All right. Frank, just a quick recap on the fall sports. I know some of our teams went to championship games, some went into section play.
Yeah, the complete fall will be at the next meeting with all the information, but last Friday we did have the girls were playing volleyball, lost in the finals to O'Neill, and football lost to Marlboro in a semifinal. We also have one student that's moving on for cross country. But the next meeting I'll have the complete of who made all league and all section and recap of all the teams.
Good. Season. Anyone else?
I think the work on the snack bar and rest area out there is really progressing very quickly, right? I mean, I'm sure weather's helped everything stay on track. Are we not on schedule with anything we have planned, or everything's moving forward according to plan?
I think for phase 2, that's for this season, that's probably the last item. We still got the second half of phase 2 next summer, and maybe some earlier on in the summer. But we still got another portion of a phase for the capital project yet to complete.
Thanks, guys.
And most of that's mechanical work, I believe.
Yeah. Well, we know this construction is like another job on top of the job, so we appreciate it. It's looking really good out there.
Okay, any other questions for our directors? Thank you guys for coming out. Okay, our student rep.
Okay. So I guess I'll go out of order too and start with the high school.
Well, she picks up quick.
So the high school has a lot. The band and chorus are attending Area All-State next week on Friday and Saturday. It's a 2-day thing. And to qualify for Area All-State, students had to prepare and perform a solo at the New York State Music Association competition last spring. And only 5% of the top musicians from 5 local counties were chosen. 9 students were chosen from Highland. The students chosen from band were Lena Tran, Jude Van Cleek, Gisela Schott, Sophia Cassio, and Alessia Wallen. And the students chosen from choir are Lily Jowers, Asia and Sunya Sahid, and Kyle Menezes. This Friday, Mr. Tatum's 11th grade college composition class is going on a field trip to Central Park in New York City. The trip's going to be a writer's workshop for the students to improve their descriptive skills by completing 2 different long-form writing prompts. The purpose of the college composition class is to learn to utilize descriptive writing across different genres and for different purposes. So the students are going to benefit from the senior in Central Park to help their writing process. This was already mentioned, but the girls varsity volleyball team and the boys varsity football team both outperformed in their fall seasons, but they sadly ended with their Section 9 finals last week. And junior Alex Carey competed in state qualifiers for cross country last Saturday, and she made it into the top 21 state qualifiers, and she's going to championships this Saturday, November 16th. Next Thursday, the 21st, the Control Point Surveyors, they used to be known as Brooks and Brooks, are coming to the high school for a Taste of Success lunch. They're going to talk about land surveying, how to thrive as a local business, opportunities in the field, qualifications and training, and different career pathways. And last Friday the 8th, professional NFL player Shamil Gary returned to the high school. He spoke at a school-wide assembly, met with the varsity volleyball and football teams, and went into classrooms to join in on various lessons. His main message was to help motivate students to better themselves, and he talked about prioritizing being a dedicated and focused young adult rather than being naturally gifted. So yeah, that was really nice. Mrs. Saylor's Citizenship and Action class went on a field trip to the Ulster County Recovery Resource Agency on October 22nd. They saw the Ulster County Archives and met with the county executive and the county clerk. And they also helped make compost, which wasn't their high point of the day. And on Friday, November 1st, the freshmen went on a field trip to the Walkway Over the Hudson for their monument unit. They learned about Sojourner Truth because she has a statue there, and her local and national significance. And they also learned about the history of the bridge itself. And they also walked over to Pomodoro's afterwards, which I was told was their favorite part. At the middle school, the students have been honoring the veterans in their community by using their lunches and free periods to write messages and color pictures to veterans. A bunch of their messages were sent to the local veteran center in the community. And a lot of teachers did lessons on the significance of Veterans Day and why it's celebrated. The students were able to connect the lessons with their friends and family members, as well as the members of their larger community and the country at large. The middle school PBIS is facilitating a t-shirt design contest for the 4 PBIS houses, which are Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. One winning design is going to be selected from each house, and the winners will be made into t-shirts and sold at a joint PBIS and PTA fundraiser. And this Friday, November 15th, is the first PTA co-rec dance of the school year. 6th to 8th graders are invited to attend and enjoy a night of music, dancing, and indoor athletics. And at the elementary school, Mrs. Meyer's 12th grade college writing and rhetoric class visited the 4th graders on October 22nd. The 4th graders were working on personal narratives in their ELA class, and the seniors were working on their personal narratives for college applications. So some of the students were nominated to read their narratives aloud, like both the 4th graders and the college students, so that was really nice. The students pooled their knowledge of writing and showed a spirit of collaboration and self-improvement, and the seniors worked with the elementary schoolers to help them make their essays even better. I was on this trip and it was really fun, and a lot of the seniors enjoyed visiting the elementary school and seeing their old teachers. And that is all I have.
Any questions? Good, thank you. Okay, Assistant Soup for Curriculum Instruction.
Good evening, everyone. I have 3 items to share with you. First, on Tuesday, November 5th, our district had our Superintendent's Conference Day, which offered diverse professional development opportunities across all 3 schools. The day began with self-care and wellness sessions led by Tara Sanders, a representative from Ulster County Department of Mental Health. That was followed by workshops on topics such as implicit bias, cross-curricular connections, social emotional learning, planning. And in the afternoon, staff participated in collaborative department and grade level meetings and attended webinars such as Rekindling Your Professional Fire and Rethinking Response to Intervention. It was a productive day of growth and collaboration across the district. Next, our district-wide direct committee met on Tuesday, October 22nd at 5:30 p.m. in the high school library media center. The meeting began with updates on district-wide initiatives, including progress on data analysis, upcoming professional development opportunities, and reports from building-level direct committees. The committee then held an open discussion about the upcoming new district website, providing feedback on ADA compliance, linguistic accessibility, and user-friendly navigation for students and families. Members also highlighted the importance of the website in attracting a diverse pool of job applicants and recommended a visible presence for the direct committee on the website to showcase the district's commitment to equity. The next district-wide direct committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 3rd at 5:30 p.m. at the middle school. And finally, our annual panorama survey is scheduled to be administered in December. Students in grades 3 through 12 will have support completing the surveys at school, and the district will promote the survey to families through our website, social media, and with a postcard mailed home. I do encourage all stakeholders to respond to the survey since their feedback is essential to help guide our future district-wide decisions. So I'll have more information about that, a reminder at our December meeting. And that's all I have for you this evening.
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Assistant Soup for Human Resources and Pupil Personnel, Dr. Boyd.
Hi, everyone. As you may have seen on some of our posts, this is School Psychologist Week, so I just want to acknowledge and thank them for all the work that our 4 school psychologists in the district do, for all the work that you see and the work behind the scenes that they do, helping our students and our families through a lot of difficult situations and all the important work of addressing our social emotional needs. So I just want to highlight them and thank them for all their work. The Ulster County Department of Health, as you've noticed over the last couple of years, we've been talking a lot more about them. They've been trying to get more involved in the communities and put on more events, more resources. They're holding their 2nd annual Mind, Body, and Soul. It's a youth and parent expo this year. A little bit further from us, it is in Ellenville at their elementary school. But on November 16th from 11 to 3, they have a lot of activities for families, for students and parents. Parent and caregiver wellness, nutrition workshops, yoga. They have a lot of gaming opportunities for students, music, free food. They have a dance party that they end with. So just trying to promote some of the work that Ulster County Department of Health has been pushing out and trying to help our community. So thank you to them as well. And just finally, we're wrapping up our first quarter already. It seems like it's gone pretty quick. We've had a great opening to our school year. So our first quarter, we'll be finishing up our IEP progress reports, which will be going out to parents in the next week or so. We have been utilizing the portal, so utilizing digital, a lot less printing coming out of our office. So accessing that for parents, and also our quarterly reports for homeschool students have started to come in. So we'll be reviewing those over the next week or so.
Any questions for Dr. Boyd? Thank you, sir. Okay, our superintendent comments.
Okay, so Lisa sent something out to the board today. It was an invitation from the State Education Department Commissioner Betty Rosa, inviting you to an education town hall. It's late notice. It's actually, it's not late notice. I thought it was this Thursday. It's Thursday, December 12th. So it's not late notice. However, superintendents in Ulster County have expressed our concern to the State Education Department because the last 3 of these events have taken place in Putnam, Northern Westchester. Because we're the Hudson Valley, they think that's an acceptable location for us to all head down. We know how difficult it is for these to happen. So Dr. Schenker at BOCES today is reaching out to try to get one of these scheduled closer to home. But if anyone is interested in going to this, please reserve your spot. She will be talking about graduation measures, regionalization, school safety, media literacy and mental health, and other legislative and budget priorities. I'm hopeful that we can get one of these closer to home so that Ulster County can have a voice We had a regionalization meeting. We were able to attend it virtually because it was quite a distance to go. And we will continue to have those conversations within the county. Let's see. One of the requirements of our data collection is to do a digital access survey of parents to see where we stand in the community, what devices students have at home, what technology they have available to them, internet, so on and so forth. We've collected that information over the last number of years. We sent out a targeted email on Friday to those that have never responded and to anyone new to the district, so that we're not inundating the same people with the same questionnaire every year. We were able to take their responses from last year, move them forward, and just target those that have not responded. I'm a little disappointed in that 277 emails went out and only 7 people have replied so far. So we will be doing a more coordinated target on our newest members of the district, which are our kindergartners. They will each get flyers during parent-teacher conferences, and we'll be making those up this week so that we can get that data into our system. On Thursday, the 21st, Patrick, Bill, and I will be attending an Ulster County regionalization conversation at Ulster BOCES. So we will fill you in as we get back from that. Just a reminder also, we have the dinner, the Friends of Education dinner coming up on Thursday, the 21st in Kingston, and we'll be honoring Ulster County legislator Gina Hansett. At least I believe, is that deadline passed if they needed to let you know?
So
okay.
I spoke to her today, so if there should be any additions, I'm sure I can get that to her.
Okay, great. They are going to run it slightly differently this year. There's going to be an MC. Instead of everyone going up and doing individual speeches, there's going to be one person who does the MCing, reads something about the candidate, the honoree, and we're going to speak to the honorees about not having lengthy response speeches, because some of them can be quite long. They're allowed to give some remarks, but try to keep it within a limit so that we can celebrate everyone equally. Parent-teacher conferences are now upon us. Parents are encouraged to reach out to their schools if they have not already signed up. Thursday, November 21st, at the high school, 5 to 8 p.m. Monday, November 25th, elementary school, 5 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, November 26th, middle school, 5 to 8 p.m. And then district-wide, the morning of November 27th. That's a Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Concerts will start happening before the next board meeting, so I just want to put these on your radar. Our winter concert at the elementary school will be Monday, December 9th. HMS will have theirs on Wednesday, December 11th, and high school will have it on Thursday, December 12th, and there will be a snow date for any of those. It doesn't look like snow is happening anytime soon, but we always have to plan for that, for Monday, December 16th. And then I do want to just specifically mention Rich Fisher in the technology department for all of the work that he's doing with our partners at Ulster BOCES to get our website to be a more robust and meaningful website for our community. He's worked many, many hours behind the scenes, and I think we're almost there. We have a wrap-up meeting coming up soon, so we should be able to make that live in the new year. That's all I have.
Any questions? Thank you, Joel. Okay, under Board of Education, new business. I'm just going to reverse the order. The Model UN overnight trip request. Be it resolved, the Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the Model UN Club to attend the following overnight conference as presented to the board at this meeting. The trip name is Empire MUNC Conference, New York City, November 14th through November 17th, 2024. Can I have a motion, please? Motion by Mike, second by Janine. Discussion.
So we do have Steph Santagata here this evening. If there are any questions related to this this field trip.
I just have a comment. I just want to say, I know you were on a wait list, so I applaud you for being persistent and maybe because I do think that this is a really good conference for the students to attend. So,
yeah, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to a last minute request.
Yeah,
It'll be
normally we don't, but I mean, this is an exception that we're gonna make, taking this, this evening. But in the future, for any of our overnight trips, we'd like to have, adequate notice so we can, research it, superintendent can review it, and we can move forward. So, but last minute, we're fine. So has any other comments?
Good luck, have a good time.
Thanks.
Weather should be nice.
I hope it's pretty cold right now. I don't know.
Coming weekend is supposed to be in the 60s.
There we go.
Upper 60s. Okay, we got a motion on the floor by Mike, seconded by Janine. No further comments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? So carried. Thank you. Okay, the last meeting I had mentioned that I'd like to look at our Board of Ed mission statement, Board of Ed goals, district goals. I'm not sure if everyone had an opportunity. I mean, this is their first go around, but at some point in time in the next month or two, I'd like to revise our Board of Education goals. Some of them are outdated. We haven't done this in a while, and our district goals. So I read them off the last time, but you have them in front of you. I'm sure, like Board of Education goals, probably the seventh bullet down, seek fair and cost-effective settlements to contracts. I mean, we've done that recently, so I mean, we can probably strike that from this go around. I think our contracts minimum are not up for another couple of years.
Other than the non-aligned contracts.
Right.
So we don't want to forget about those.
Correct. We've also developed a superintendent evaluation tool. We're utilizing that. We've done that since Joel has taken.
That one I think you can take off.
Right. Conduct retreats and self-evaluations twice a year. We probably should really consider.
Let me revise, because there was a chuckle. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be an evaluation. We have a process. When I came on, I brought forward an electronic version of a superintendent evaluation tool that the board enters into every year with me. So that process is there. Just it was run a little differently prior.
Correct.
So
conduct retreats and self-evaluations twice a year. So probably with the retreat, normally you should be doing that at least once a year, and the self-evaluation. So I think we'll leave that on, but twice a year seems, everything that we have going on kind of is a little extreme.
So part of super eval is a board evaluation piece. That's built in there. So that's a very easy one to get up and running, that the board could answer those and maybe take the data from that to help with the following year's retreat on what things you want to focus on.
Right. Get mandated training. I know our new members are required to have mandated training. There's a lot of training out there. We do get periodic updates from State Edge or NISBA regarding available training for us if we want to take that. So it's encouraged. We've done it in the past as a group at times, but we have to keep that on there. Monitor the control micromanaging. I'm not, the years I've been on this board currently, the last probably 10 years, I don't think we're a board that micromanages too much. So I think we stay on top of that. We can keep the monitor to control micromanaging as part of our Board of Ed goals. Set up long-range strategic plans for finance, programs, and services. I think we, for the most part, stay on top of that. We do have some strategic plans for our infrastructure and finance and programs. I think we'll keep that on the list. Explore different ways to engage staff. that's something that the board needs to definitely explore. If there's any other ways of engaging our staff. And I'll take it in a different vein that I've always encouraged staff to attend our board meetings. I think we get that dialogue and that feedback back and forth. I mean, we're a board that is open to constructive criticism. I think we take that well. We're not a board that is going back to that micromanaging. We do not micromanage, so we're open to suggestions at staff, and I encourage staff to come to board meetings and vent if you have to. I mean, that's
share
encouraged.
ideas.
Yeah. Right.
When we talk about budget on these, I started to think about the term sustainability and where that fits. It probably fits into long-term planning, but over the course of our last year's budget development period, not an easy one, and we knew that, but we want to just make sure that we identify programs that are sustainable. In other words, when times get tough, sometimes you hear schools say, well, our full day K program doesn't have to be a full day K program. It goes to half K. But certainly, and then that always sparks debate, right? Or if it's with busing or whatever. But I think there's some conversations that we can have that include long-term planning, but with the concept of sustainability. Like, I would be prepared to say full day K is on the table. We're never going to touch that. We know that that prepares certainly better than a half-day program students for a good foundational education in elementary schools. So I think when you start talking about, and you could start on the fringe, you could stay kindergarten, but then we might take a look at our art programs, K-12, or our, that was certainly a difficult discussion, but what it came about is, kind of depending on how the populations of students have shifted around the buildings, it's not needed up there, it's needed down here. But this way, we have a discussion on these, and it might be a rolling discussion, a multi-year discussion, but one of the concept of sustainability just comes to mind.
Sure. All right. Seek fair and cost-effective settlements of contracts. We're going to strike that, but as Jill said, we do have the non-aligned that we still work on on a annual basis. Sometimes it's every other year. Deliver a budget that supports education and is affordable to the public. I think that's something that this board has always focused on. We could probably, strike that. I mean, that's just the normal, doing business where we put a budget together we're expecting the public to support it, and we're very conscious of how we develop that budget. So for Board of Education goals, maybe for the next meeting, why don't everyone come up with one bullet, and we'll send them out. We'll put them in together on a spreadsheet, and we'll discuss them at the next meeting. But Jen,
my question is, because I'm new, and forgive me if this was highlighted and I missed it, but do we evaluate these annually? So should these goals be something that we aim to achieve on an annual basis, or are we looking to outline the broader goals of what we're trying to achieve as a board? Because I feel like we kind of flip-flop a little.
Yeah, we should look at them annually. We haven't done that in some time, so I think now is the appropriate time to
And do we
look
have-
at it and revise.
I'm more of a 3 to 5 year, only because the year goes by so fast.
Do we have wiggle room in the sense that we have a mission statement and then we almost have a goals statement, like these are our broad goals that we should always be aiming for as a board, and then we have our timely 3 to 5 year or whatever timeline? Like, could we make that sort of amendment so that we can?
Sure. We look forward to sharing to you sharing your worksheet with us and see what appears there.
Sounds very exciting. Sounds like you're moving in the right direction.
Mr. Zimmer, do I hear a snicker down there? No. Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's draft something and then we'll do a little
We'll
rapid share.
develop one bullet, we'll
Okay.
bring that forward and we can have that discussion. I mean, again, with the Board of Education mission statement, if we want to revise that, I mean, I think this was done probably 5 years ago, minimum. So we might want to look at that and tweak that a little bit.
And we're just, usually as we end the year, we start hearing some reports out of Albany and see what we're headed up to. Certainly last November, December, there were concerns coming out of Albany, which kind of came to fruition. Be interesting to see how it goes this year.
And to Mike's point, as soon as that starts to happen in January, not that any of this is not important, but all focus then shifts to the budget, the financials, how are we going to make the following year come together cohesively so that none of this is falling off the table, but that we're being able to put that budget out there that is going to be acceptable to the community.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of emails from me and a lot in my update weekly as things change.
And again, let's do the same thing with their district goals. I mean, they kind of run hand in hand, the Board of Ed goals and district goals, so we all can develop 1 or 2 bullets to
be a nice way to
present.
go into 2025.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great.
All right, does anyone have any questions? So we'll do that for our next meeting and hopefully we can come to some consensus on how
I'll throw that in the Friday update this week, and if you get them, please respond to that and get them to me as quick as possible so that I can get them in a format that's usable for all.
Okay. Under old business, this is something that we've been discussing since probably the last January or even before. We're probably going on a year right now.
Tonight.
Our cell phone electronic device discussion. At our last meeting, I think you have a copy from Janine put together a policy that it kind of mimicked Beacon's policy. We were presented with.
Yeah, and I'm
Beacon's
gonna
policy.
share, I actually have Beacons where I just crossed out and put Highland, just so you can see how that sits now and maybe compare and contrast. And
I
on
think
the
that's
back.
what
That's
Janine
what I
did.
did.
That's what this is also.
Okay, and on the back is an infraction chart that might find its way into a regulation that you might find helpful.
Great.
Looking at probably the third paragraph at Highland High School, students will be allowed to carry their smartphone. This is the one from Janine, including smartwatches on their person, but will be directed to put smartphone, including smartwatches and earbuds, in their backpack. Mike, students will be directed to put cell phones in a designated area and put earbuds in their backpack while in the classroom. So they're pretty similar, the two of them.
I like being flexible, and just in case a teacher does have like a designated area versus their bag, some flexibility is key on that. But either way, it's not on their person. That's the key piece.
Right.
It's not going to be buzzing in my pocket. It's not going to be doing all these things.
So let's just digest a little bit. And at our last several meetings, I think we were all under the consensus that we are going to move forward with some type of restriction on cell phones in the classroom. We're not restricting the use of cell phones completely in the school setting, but we are allowing the use of cell phones in their lunch periods. I believe we even said the hallways in between classes, study halls if it's quiet time. I think our main focus was to try to minimize the cell phone disturbance in the classroom. And all data that's out there kind of is going in that direction, that the educational process is being hampered by the amount of time that a staff member has to address the use of a cell phone in the classroom. And like Mike has said many times, you're talking possibly 10 minutes out of a 42-minute class time. So that's a lot of time when you spread that over 180 days, 178 days. It's a lot of minutes lost in the educational process. So I don't think this board, I'm not here to totally take cell phone use away.
This is not a ban. This is not a cell phone ban. It does take away those devices out of the instructional time.
So with all that being said, I think our next move is going to move this to legal to present it back to us in a way that it mimics both of these draft copies.
Yeah.
And I think they probably already have a template of this because they have already addressed it with Beacon and probably several other school districts, or are working with several other school districts. So, do we want to continue any discussion, or do we feel we're at a point where we're going to move this forward to legal for a draft copy for first reading of a policy at our next meeting? If the need is not to go to a second reading, we can adopt it in our December meeting.
Make it effective beginning of the year.
Make it effective at the beginning of the year.
Let's see what it looks like. Let's see the board's feedback on, do we have to provide some guidance on the admin reg? What do you think about that infraction chart? It's very, it's clear. There's got to be accountability. I think part of the discussion now is we do some things, but, I've told this kid to put their cell phone away 30 times. I've written it up. Not that it doesn't get addressed. It's just got to be firm.
Right.
It's too costly. It's just too costly.
Yes, and we allowed the stakeholders the opportunity to address us at our public meetings many times. We've gone out with the questionnaires to parents. We've also done it with our staff. We got feedback from some of them. So I think the direction the board is moving now is...
This is a 21st century skill. I mean, using the technology, but also not being addicted to it is a challenge. And we know in the workplace, there's supervisors who have problems with adults on their cell phones and things like that. And it's not okay. Not okay in the real world. There's got to, as adults, we're forced to prioritize things. And for 45 minutes, sometimes I got to do what I got to do and not do what I want to do. And that's really the message. And that's,
So without any other discussion, I believe we're all on the same page. Move this forward to legal for policy to come back to us to have a first reading.
Which one am I moving? The one with the red strikeouts, or am I moving the other one?
I think they're both
They're pretty much the same. The one with the red strikeouts, Joel. I mean, mine's just got
That's fine.
3 changes.
The only concern that I have with the regulation or the offenses, progressively, typically we don't go from after-school detention to suspension. We would go to in-school suspension before we would progress to out-of-school suspension.
I got you. You could follow the pattern.
I would just, what's that?
I guess that could be in school.
Yeah, so if we change these to in school, the other thing is we want kids in school. So if it's if there's a violent act, a fight, something like that, yes, that's an out of school. But I would purport that we would want kids under our supervision as much as possible. So that would be in an in-school situation.
It depends on the offense, but I understand that's.
No, I'm talking, this is just for cell phone infractions.
Yes.
So maybe instead of out of school suspension, it would be the in school suspension.
Yep.
Instead.
It just says 1 day suspension. Yeah. So I just think we need to be clear on that.
Maybe say in school.
Yeah, whatever the tier, there's no third, right? You notice there's no third chance. Second penalty, move on, escalate.
Yeah.
But yes, very good.
I believe that once this policy, it's going to take probably a little bit of time for students and staff to kind of all be on the same page with it. That eventually we won't be looking at too many of these offenses
I would hope not.
happening, at least not up to the 9th.
And in the beginning, you might see some, right? And you got to show that you're serious about the policy. I think once you prove that to students.
But again, that's something that we can, we'll look at when we get the.
Yeah, I put it out there just to provoke conversation and thought.
And that really, those infraction charts should be part of the code of conduct, not the policy.
Correct.
When someone has in-school suspension, are they eligible to participate in extracurricular activities?
No.
Just checking.
I would also argue that the code of conduct is an aggregate of many policies, which is why you have to adopt it each year. But wherever it fits.
Well, the other thing in
maybe
here,
it doesn't fit. Maybe
progressively,
we talk to this administrative team, and we want to have dialogue with our students, and not, we're moving away from a penal world, but you need penalty. Wherever that fits in your spectrum.
I think that needs to be part of it.
Yeah.
There needs to be counseling. There needs to be.
I think it takes
not counseling like mental health counseling, but they need to be counseled about why
every
it's
one
important.
of these things. Are you kidding me? The writing assignment for these things should be why I don't turn my cell phone on during class. What am I losing? Sometimes during these periods, you might give a student a writing prompt, because it's not just serve the sentence and then I'm out of there. It's no, you're going to provide me a couple paragraphs on why you're not going to be here again, or something to that effect. You were all there at one time.
Okay. All right. So I'll get that out to legal counsel tomorrow, and maybe I'll even get something back on Friday.
We don't have that kind of time.
Any other discussion? Okay. The miscellaneous, anything good for the good and welfare of the district? Okay, we'll open the meeting up to public comment. Again, back-end public comment, general item. All right, we'll close public comment. Motion to adjourn. Motion by Heather, second by Janine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Yeah. Motion carries. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you.
Enjoy your evening.